Good morning and welcome to my shop. My name is Randy Woods, and in this three-part series, I'm going to be making a gaming desk for my stepson. Part one is all about making these legs. My stepson has been asking me to build this desk for quite some time. He's going to use it for gaming and whatnot. He's been using this, I don't know, kind of like a TV stand. It's like a Walmart piece of furniture. It's a piece of garbage. He's been using that for a while now, so he's really been on my case about building this. I've had this 8/4 walnut in the shop for about a year and a half now, and I mean, this stuff is pretty substantial. It's 2 inches thick. I think one of the boards is like 10 inches wide. It's pretty good stuff. And I'm gonna cut this stuff down, and I'm gonna use that to make the legs for this desk. Now this desk is gonna be a corner desk, which I've kind of sketched up a basic drawing of this, but it's basically gonna be L-shaped, and it's gonna consist of one desk that has a leg on each side, and then a shorter desk that has a leg on one side, and just it's going to have an apron on it, and it's going to bolt to the desk that has the two legs. Now, I'm not 100% sure on all of my measurements just yet, but what I am sure about are the legs. I've settled on the design. I know exactly how deep this needs to be, and I know how tall it needs to be. Therefore, the legs I can go ahead and start on. So I'm gonna make these legs out of this 8/4 stock that I have. So that's where I'm gonna start, and I think this is gonna be a fun project.
I start cutting these boards down over at my miter saw. I've made strategic marks on these boards to get as many pieces out of them as I can. This material is so thick that I take several passes on each cut. This last board was wide enough that I was able to rip cut it over at the bandsaw and get twice the number of pieces out of it. I start squaring up my boards by first flattening one face of each board. I then use the flat face, and I reference that off of the fence and put a straight edge on each board. That gives me a perfect 90-degree edge. Over at my planer, I surface the rough side of the board, and I do this until all my boards are the same thickness and have a smooth surface. Over at my table saw, I rip cut all my pieces down to 4 inches. I'm careful to keep the side that I've already jointed against the fence. This assures that I get 2 parallel sides. My table saw is really struggling with this 8/4 material, and it's leaving burn marks that I'm going to have to come back and clean up. I'm using my miter saw and a stop block to cut all of my pieces down to their final length. I square up one end of the board, and then I slide it down to the stop block and square up the other end. Stop blocks are great for making repeatable cuts, but they also help reduce human error. I took all my pieces back over to the planer, and I made some very light passes on edge just to remove the burn marks that were left by the table saw.
Well, all my boards have been milled to the final thickness. They've been squared up and they've all been cut to length, and I'm ready to build these legs. Now there's going to be 3 of these, and I want them all to be identical. So according to my plans, Each one of these side pieces have these little curves, as does this piece in the middle. I want to make this repeatable, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this hardboard and I'm going to make patterns. I've already cut this to the length and the width of the sideboard, and I've done the same with this centerpiece. So I'm going to go ahead and make these patterns, and I'm going to transfer that to each one of these pieces. I've got all my pieces cut out for my legs, and I'm going to do all my joinery using the Festool domino. I absolutely love this tool. It's quick, it's easy, it makes a really strong joint. The only downside to it is it's fairly pricey. It's about a $1,200 tool, which you know, for hobbyists, a lot of times that's just not even practical. But that's okay, because there's other ways to do this joinery. A more traditional way would be to do a mortise and tenon joint, but I have the domino and I'm going to use it. I have everything in position here, and I'm using the fence on my MFT as kind of like a backstop, just so I can get all my pieces nice and flush. And to use this domino, it's really just as simple as putting a few lines. I just need to make some marks where those mortises are going to be. Now also I need to find the center of this and the center of these cross pieces, so I can make sure that this cross member ends up dead center. Now with everything laid out, I'm going to go ahead and cut all my mortises. this leg is already pretty solid, and I haven't even put any glue on it. So I'm gonna disassemble it. I'm gonna glue all my pieces, put it back together, and then I'm gonna do my other two legs exactly the same way. And then I'm gonna spend a pretty good amount of time sanding.
I started sanding at 100 grit, and I worked my way through 120, 150, and I finished up at 180 grit. I also knocked down all the hard corners by sanding by hand. This took a little time, but it really does make a big difference.
I think this is a great stopping place. I think these legs are shaping up nicely. I still have a little bit of sanding to do on the other two legs, but for now I'm gonna go ahead and shut this down. Be sure to subscribe to my channel for future content and notifications. If you have any questions, be sure to leave that in the comments down below, and I hope to see you for part 2 of this series.